Good morning, guys. Okay. Recently I did the review on the Onewind poncho shelter. Actually, it's not a poncho, it's a cloak. And it's kind of like the lavaloo you see out of Europe, but it's just made out of modern sil nylon material. And several of you asked me to do a little bit more in depth. Let's look a little closer at it, okay? This is it after you take it out of the pouch, open it up, and try to stuff it back in the bag. When you take it out, when you first get it smaller than this because it's precisely folded very flat to get in there. And I'm sure someone could take the time and do that again. I'm just not that patient to sit to do it. But it comes with 4 stakes and some cordage with it to set it up. Now what this is meant to be is an ultralight shelter. And the full set that you saw in the video is 2 of these ponchos with the mosquito net that hooks into it, the bathtub mosquito net for the ground cloth and etc. This is just we're going to call it a cloak, a rain cloak, because it doesn't have armholes to make a poncho, and you pull it around you like a cloak. So we're just going to call it a rain cloak. It's what it is, or like a lavaloo. And so this is what I'm looking to replace the emergency shelter in my haversack with, because I already carry a Onewind hammock, and I carry that. It's actually called the footprint, and it's meant to be the thing you put underneath. It's like 4 by 8 feet or 4 by 7 feet, 4 by 8 I think, that goes underneath a hammock. Well, I use it as an emergency tarp because it's really good material. It's a little thicker. And so several people I know are using it over real small hammocks and stuff like that, or small statue people. And so I liked it. But this turns into a 3-sided shelter. And it's actually a little more coverage. So we're going to set this up and take a look at it. But I want you to see what it looks like decompressed, so to speak. Now, you can still squeeze this on down quite a bit. I just roughly stuffed it in there. And I'm sure if you took the time to sit there and precisely fold it and keep all the air out of it and everything, you could get it down a good deal smaller than this. Now for weight, it's so light it won't even register on my little scale. So I'm going to say a pound at most. I mean, you pick it up, a soda can's heavier. That's just the best way I can put it to you. If you hold both of them at the same time, the soda can feels a little heavier. So 6 ounces, 7 ounces, maybe 8, maybe. I mean, it's very light, and let's set it up. Okay, when you open it up, there's some cordage. This is that bright orange cordage, and then there is the bag that the cordage goes into, and the 4 stakes are in. Now it comes with these little bitty red stakes, which will be fine for not horrible weather conditions, but you know these are not terrible strong stakes, okay? Now, pulling it out, taking that and doing like that, and I'm going to take my carabiner with my keychain on it, and I'm going to hang it on that so that I know where it's at, just like that. Now, opening this up, take the stakes and put in my pocket right quick. We have the zipper, and you have an inner, and the zipper flips to the inside or the outside. Someone was asking, could you set it up like a round teepee like a lavaloo? It would be very small. And I think it'd be, for somebody really small to fold up into a fetal position, yeah, you could do it. But it's really meant to be a lean-to like pyramid with the 2 sidewalls going forward. That gives you like a 3 foot by 7 foot to lay down in. But when you close it up, you get a lot smaller in a hurry. So no, that is not that big, okay? All right, the head opening, as you can see right here, this is where you tie it to an overhead or to a hiking staff or whatever, and this is on top of the head. there is an inner drawstring right there, and that's what you close it up to make the neck opening. So I'm going to draw that up a little from both sides, like that. And now putting that around like so, bringing it forward. Now the outer that goes around this and that inner both have a two-part click together, so you can tuck it under your chin or whatever. Oh, you can focus on this. See this little tab, and there's an opening on the other one, and on that one there's a push tab. So you're going to put it up there, push that tab, and they click together. This is so you can hook it up under your neck. With this internal one that I just tightened up a little bit, and then loosen that tab just a little, bring it out like that. Because the question was, could you adjust it while you were in it? Yes, you can adjust it. Find the end, there it is, and adjust it there. Now this internal one, the one that's coming around the neck, would be the one you'd want to click like that and then pull up the two cords so it cinches it in on either side of the neck. And so even with my hat on, I can do this. And I can back up, and I've got the cloak. I can just cover up like this. My hands are still available, but I can be wearing a full Alice pack or whatever and cover up like this and walk. And then notice how it completely encloses the head, so my face is actually kind of back in a hole right here with my hat on. But even if I didn't have a hat, this thing will pull forward far enough. There's enough room back there to pull forward to come well in front of my face. So this would be really good rain protection. And yes, and very inclement, you can zip this up all the way up here to the neck and just put yourself inside of a cloak. Now no, you don't have hands, but you can flip your hand up and out fairly easily like you do with a poncho. Okay, so I think this would be fairly good for that. But I like how big and roomy it is, and everybody I let try it on, big guys that tried it on, were impressed at how big this thing was, and thus allowed them to wear it. Because that's one of the things with a lot of the real big guys is, how do you get finding something you can wear for the men's size? Because a lot, even the U.S. Army poncho just ain't big enough. Because you add a pack to it and everything, and it just don't cover enough. They get wet. This should be big enough to cover way out enough to do it. All right, now let's talk about setting it up as a shelter. You're going to adjust out your shock cords like this, so they're full length out. Now this edge is a tube all the way across, so you could put two sticks up in there like that to make a way to get to hold it up, or you can take a hiking staff and hook to that. Either way. Now we're going to open up the neck. Open up the neck opening so that it gets maximum coverage like that. And these have got tapes sewn in as well to reinforce this. Alright. Now, I'm going to start with that center tie out. And I'm going to take the orange cord. Now you could use this as a ground line. If you ain't got a tree to tie to, you can take a hiking staff and then run it to the ground and guide out. But up here and do a quick anchor knot onto it, like that. And up here, I'm going to get up, I'm just going to guess. I don't know the exact height right now. I'm going to guess right about there. Give it a couple of loops, like that. back and pull that into a timber hitch anchor. Now we go to the stakes and start pulling it out. Okay, stake number one. I want to take my front corner, pull it out, straight out. Now I'm going to hook it to the ground. Going down to where the loop digs into the saw teeth on this stake. Just push it lightly down like that. Now I'm going to come to the far side and I'm going to put the next one in. Same idea. Get out here the end of it, put it into the saw teeth, dig into that loop that's sewed into the end. Like that. And push down. Now, coming along the side, there is a stake. I go to my second stake loop. Skip the middle one for right now. Put the stake in and pull it out like this. And push it in. Skip a stake. Come to this corner right here. Pull it out. And this is one of those things you're going to have to work out your own system of how to know how far apart to get. Now once I get it like this, I can adjust it and pull it better. I think I need to come down in altitude, get just a little bit more line. Right here. Soften it just a little bit. Again, doing a trucker's hitch. Excuse me, doing a timber hitch. Just like that. Alright, now. Going this way. Because it's actually like a rectangle as opposed to a triangle. There we go. Then we pull this forward. Like that. Pull this side forward. Put that stake back in. It rained here the last 2 days, so this ground is 3 days, so this ground's real soft. And then we have the last stake. Get here in this center back, pull out, and push it down, like that. Now let's take a look at it. Okay, you see how roomy that is. That's like 4 feet by 7 feet in there. It's just one great big, I don't know the exact shape to call it, like a pyramid. It's just set up this way, but you got plenty of room in there to get in there and lay down. And you saw it in that previous video where I was able to get in and lay down in it. All right, now getting in it. Come around. Ta-da! It's about 4 foot by 7 foot when you set it up like this. And there's plenty of room for me to sit up in it. Now several people ask, could you fully enclose it? The zippers for 2 of them do zip up. And then you would be able to have either take the poncho in the front and lift it up like an awning vestibule, or you could put something else over the front up here. But in any case, it's sort of like an improved lean-to, really, because the way it pulls out this way, the depth of it, there's more than enough room in here for an adult to get in here and lay down lengthways with a little bit of gear. Nice and tight, sets up. The peak has got the edge right here, which would act like a drip edge in case of rain, and would drip right here, which as long as you know that's what's going to happen, you can avoid it. But of course you'd want to set this where the prevailing rain was coming from the back, not coming in the door, but coming from the back. But you can easily get that far in, well away from any drip or whatever out here on the edge. I just tied it quickly to this tree. Could I do this on a hiking staff? Absolutely, same way. Just hook it up and pull the guy line forward. I would probably add a couple more small stakes, because there's a pull out there and there's another pull out there that gives me even more room. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stakes, one to go out, 8 would be what I would have with me, or improvise. I can set it up quickly with 4, as you saw in the basic, and then make improvements with improvised stakes just to pull those extra corners out. But this is more than enough room. Plus I could, right here in front, I could set up my Trangia or whatever and be able to cook. It's a high enough peak I could be right here. As long as it didn't flare up nothing or whatever, I should be fine in this. But it's just a good silk nylon rain material. So as a cloak, yeah. As a quick emergency shelter, yeah, I like it. I could also rig this thing up as a lean-to by pulling these wings out, because there's the grommets on the ends and then the grommet right here, and remember this is a tube, I could run a rope through that. I could pull this thing out and set it up as a big wide open lean-to for even more room underneath this thing along a ridge line. So yeah, Blackie likes. That's the reason this is going to be going into my EDC for my haversack. This is going to take the place of the other tarp that I had, that I was using as an emergency shelter system. This now will serve as rain gear and emergency shelter system. Pretty good. Now all I got to do is retrieve my stakes like this. And since they're probably going to be dirty, that's what that little bag is for. Like that. Pull, and down comes that timber hitch. Retrieve my line. Coil up my line right quick. This is that highly reflective guy line that they use. Not only is it orange, it's got little silver elements in it that when a flashlight hits it, it just glows like new money. So you can see it at a good ways off, you shine a light at it. Also an advantage for signaling, or in a crowded campsite when I'm trying to figure out where I leave my tent. There goes the cord. Cinch that up. Squeeze the air out of the bag. Now, I take my main bag, take the poncho out, take the hood, start stuffing it into the bag. This is what Onewind is marketing it as the ultralight shelter. Onewind is marketing this as an ultralight shelter. You can see how easy it goes in and how easy and compact it can be. Now, once I get it in there, I pull out my stake bag, wiggle it in on top, rotating and twisting. Nothing tears. There we go. Squeeze all the air out of it. Cinch up the cinch cord. Do the be sure knot. That's to be sure it don't ever slide. And that's it. Put it in the bottom of the haversack and pack everything on top of it. Quick, light, handy. It is the Onewind ultralight shelter is what they're calling this. So, the price of them is like 40 bucks. I think that's worthwhile for the side. It'd be repeatable, reusable. The full set that has a mosquito net and everything is 2 of these ponchos and then the mosquito net. They sent it to me as a set. Now, the mosquito net and the other poncho is now with my friend Dakota, and he's doing some field testing as well. And so whenever he posts a video about his setup with the mosquito net and that, because he's got, when you looked at my original video, the bed that you're looking at in there is Dakota's. Dakota slept in it the night he came down to camp here recently with us. We set it up as an experiment just to figure it out, and we figured out that his bedroll, his cowboy bedroll, fit in it perfectly. All the room you wanted, which is 4 foot by 7 foot, and it sat right in there like it was made for it. Like this was the rain cover to go over it. And so I told him, go ahead and take it with you and utilize it and do some field testing. Let's find out what it'll do. So there will be videos coming from him in the future, and as soon as he posts them, I will be sure to send a link to you or whatever and let you know about it. But if you're looking for something to put into your rucksack or whatever as rain gear and as a emergency shelter, or if you're going super light, you're going ground pound, and I just want some small little something, throw my pad down and I'm good, this may be the way to go for you right here. Hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. If you had, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.